do you deal with the fact that one of the best book titles is right in front of you and you really did love that book? Hello, beautiful bookworms. My name is Katarina and welcome to my channel. And today I'm going to be doing a review of a book that I've actually read the arc for and is already been released for a while now, and that I think that you guys should pick up and read. So the book that I'm talking about is Stars Like Gasoline by Jessica Grew Glover, and I will leave the cover somewhere on my face because this cover is gorgeous. And you probably know that I don't really like pink, but in this cover it makes sense. It's gorgeous, it's beautiful, and it goes into the vibe of what the story is. And for that, I don't mean a girly like story of colorful romance, even though that would also be okay, but a very beautiful, cozy, contemporary, mysterious story that just makes you feel wanted, happy, and like you are in a beach, just soaking up the sun and seeing the waves and feeling all of nature around you, and it is just incredibly great. So Stars Like Gasoline is the story of our main character Celia, and she is an art curator that just returned to her hometown at the time of purchasing her brother's dead husband's house, or her brother's dead husband's mother house. So when she goes there, she moves in, and she has this particular ability where she can see ghosts. Not exactly always as full corporeal ghosts, even though that also happens, but most of the times like positive or negative energies. And there are ghosts living in that house, and one of them is not particularly happy that she's there and is kind of hunting her and the house, and is a very negative energy that can actually bring her some hurtful situations. And so she always had this ability, and she talks with her brother Oscar, and he is a little bit, down on the roughs because he just lost the man of his life, his love life person, and he's like feeling really down and feeling a little bit bad about the situation. But he and Celia have such a beautiful brotherly dynamic. I really enjoy it. They make fun of each other, and they make fun of themselves, but they're always there for each other, and they're like the most important people in their lives. And I just found it so profoundly beautiful. So she kind of enlists the help of her brother to, survive these attacks and the situation in this house. But her brother brings someone to the table that she wasn't expecting, and that person is Adrian. And he was this dead person's best friend, and so, of course, he's a really good friend of Oscar. But there might be a situation growing between him and Celia that she doesn't know how to deal with, and Adrian doesn't know how to deal with, and things get complicated in that situation, adding to the ghosts and adding to the fact that she has a job in a museum and she has some strange pieces coming up. And there's something about this painter that is apparently missing, and about this other painter from long, long back that has some stories that could be linked to something, and also a possible international situation going on with these three characters and in the world that they are living. And first of all, I just want to say that Jessica Grew Glover she just intertwined all of these plots brilliantly. And she never lost sight of who the characters were and what was important to portray and what was important to bring forth in the book. This book feels a lot like a cozy contemporary, so it's not fully a romance, it's not fully a mystery, and it's not fully paranormal, but it has all of these intertwined in a way that, through the voice of our main characters, make us feel like we know these people, we live where these people live, we are also merely seconds away from the beach, and we just live in a beautiful place. And for people that actually love art and love going to museums, there's also a lot of that into it. And I found that Jessica just wrote brilliantly people, and in a way that could give it the sense of magical realism to a teeth. You know, there are so many things happening that wouldn't be normal in a contemporary situation, but for those of us that have actually read like Gabriel Garcia Marquez or Haruki Murakami, we know that some of these things are used in magical realism, and so potentially I would describe Stars Like Gasoline as a contemporary, but also with a little bit of magical realism that makes me feel all of the more cozy and all of the more happy, because it's something that I like, and it's something that I think that many of you would like, because it's kind of like presenting to you a life and presenting to you characters and just developing them so beautifully and just submerge you in their relationships, in their feelings, in their stories, but also giving you a little bit of, this is not real life, this is a little bit different. Just check it out. Check how it's different. Check how the feelings are intensified. Check how everything is revolving around these characters and their relationship. And I just figure that that's a beautiful way of making stories. And for that alone, I am so happy that I had the opportunity to read this arc before it came out. It did come out on the 25th of April, so you can purchase it now whenever you want through Amazon. I will also leave the Instagram of the author below, so you can go in and check her out. She has more books. And it was just such an incredible vibe. I don't know how to describe this better. So the plot was on point. She never lost sight of what she wanted to do. She never needed to explain anything to you, because things just popped out and you were so involved and enthralled in everything that you were reading that you could understand your character's feelings, and you could also understand how the plot was progressing and what was happening from a moment to another, and how to correlate things by yourself. I also feel like it's very interesting to try and understand who are the ghosts that are haunting Celia, and progressively her friends as well, and her brother, and how that relates to mystery, and how that relates to the life that they want to have and they don't have. And it's a little bit like growing up reading this book. It's kind of like understanding your decisions, understanding the points that you should be making, understanding how you go forward from one point to another, even if you go back sometimes, and how your feelings and emotions are valid. And I have to say that Jessica Glover had one of the best love interests I have read in a while. This person, Adrian, is zero toxicity. Zero. This man is perfection. Is perfection, and I don't know where to find people like this to meet and be friends with, because zero toxicity. Zero. It's incredible. And as someone that reads a lot of like fantasy and dark romances and shit, toxicity can be fun, but it's not what you want in real life. And so that brought a little bit more of realism, of happiness, of the cozy feeling of the thing. And also, I think the characters were actually written as people that you could meet. I don't think that there was a lot of, creativity in a way to just portray characters as these spectacular people. They were all incredibly realistic. They were all incredibly, you felt for them so much, and you kind of wanted to know how their story was going to end, and you kind of got smacked in the face when things didn't work out as they should, but you also got a really warm hug when things did. And I don't know, I think it was one of the most beautiful things that I've read in a while. I was enthralled. It was not, I didn't want to scream and throw the book across the room, but just because I was immersed in this feeling of magic and realism and happiness, and then sadness, but at the same time nostalgia for people that I've never met and places I've never been to. And all of the art conversations, all of the relation conversations, all of the family situations, and dynamics in relationships were just so well done, and the prose that Jessica uses is just so beautiful. And I don't have more to say than pick up this book, read it. It's a really beautiful story, and I will read more of her books for sure, because I was pleasantly surprised and really in love with this. And when you know the meaning of the title, it's just prose. You know, the beauty of writing, the beauty of prose, all together in one. So that's all that I have to say on Stars Like Azaleen. If you guys like this, leave a like or subscribe, and tell me down below if you've ever read any of Jessica Glover's books, or if you're planning to read it, and what you thought about this little talk that I have about Stars Like Azaleen, if you want to pick it up or not. And if you do, I just hope you love it like I did. So happy readings to you all. Bye!